22nd of May and it's snowing.
You're John. I'm Dave.
It's a nice and sunny day.
Muhammad Ali.
He's got a heart made of yellow barley straw.
This is a screwdriver that has had an old doorknob welded to the end for a handle. And this one is a Phillips screwdriver. This is a handmade saw with a homemade handle put on it. They've adapted and made tools to fit particular jobs, I think, you know. Well, this gentleman apparently in the wintertime likes to make birdhouses of every shape, size, and description. Well, this one here would be for a wren, probably.
That would be like a wren size, yeah. A 1-inch hole on it.
And this other one would be for much larger birds.
Like a blue jay or something that size there. And then you can get into something like this would be like a martin.
Go get Brecht on your bike.
2-inch hole. The ones that like mosquitoes. Easiest ones to mount are something like this. Just put one screw here and one screw here, and
That's it.
you're done, eh?
This is made out of a poplar log.
Well, you're too big for it.
This is quite a nice one. Actually, I think I might buy this one from him. Yeah.
These things work perfect. When we came this morning, it was like I've got one of these, and I swear by it. We came and it was cold. The old guy was out. Now it's sun's coming out. She's coming. Nice weather. See?
Weir Golf. I don't think Mike uses these kind of balls. I could use one of these balls. It'd probably go just about as far as my other golf balls do.
I raised them. One is 5 and the other is 7. Lady and Jill, both sisters. I got 20 altogether at home. I have 2 son-in-laws, Kevin and Devin. Kevin made the wood part on the eveners, and Devin made the metal. One's a welder and one's a woodworker, so that was my Christmas present.
See a dentist, or only if you needed one?
Only if we needed one. If the tooth is real sore, Dad would pull it out. You could pull out teeth too.
Oh, so
He'd do that.
did he ever pull any of your teeth?
Not mine, but he pulled Jane's teeth.
Oh,
She was just crying. It ached her. She's ached and ached. Oh. And usually they don't pull teeth when they're sore, are they?
they have an abscess, right? But he would pull them.
But Dad, he pulled them.
With what?
With a special tool for. You use the same tool as he used to pull a horse's teeth out. Honest to God.
Do you remember it happening? Like, do you remember her screaming and...
I heard her crying, yelling, pull the tooth out then. Everything was just fine afterwards.
With no ether, nothing?
No,
Wow,
those are tough people them days.
that's right.
I'd go chopping wood in wintertime. Oh heavens. What the heck would I be then, about 15? Was I 16? Take the team of horses and go up the coulee and with the sleigh and horses, and I'd bring home a load of wood. I'd take some sheaves with me for the horses, take myself a lunch, and I'd make a little fire when I was out there chopping wood. Mind you, I chopped the wood by axe, cut the wood down by axe. As I started chopping, I hope I was going faster than the beaver. But anyway, I finally got a load of wood and come home. I'd be gone for about 7 hours. Nothing would work out. The milk was no good. Finally, somebody suggested they get horse milk.
No kidding.
Yeah, and that's what cured me right there. They got I guess there's a mare that had a colt, and they got horse milk, and they fed that to me for quite some time, and I guess it must have had problems with my stomach, and that did the trick.
That's probably why you liked horses so much.
Hi, I'm John.
And I'm Dave.
We're the hardware guys. Actually, Dave, I left hardware and I sell real estate now.
Well, that's okay, John. You're still a hardware guy at heart.
Right on. there's a little story behind that. Actually, when I was much younger, my brother-in-law, he was a pilot, and he piloted a small plane, and we'd go flying on a Sunday afternoon or whatever, and actually used to use the grain elevators as a navigation tool. We'd you'd get close, you didn't know where you were, kind of thing. So you'd kind of come down and you'd say, well, this is we're by Assiniboia, or whatever kind of thing. A fellow friend of mine who passed on now actually built grain elevators for a living, and just massive, labor intensive. They actually stacked the boards on top of each other on the flat, and it took them weeks and weeks and months to build these massive structures that come down now in a morning's worth of work. So it's sort of sad, to hear those stories and then see them fall, kind of thing. It's almost heartbreaking. So
Thinking back to being a young kid and walking to these huge structures, as a child, you think, what are these huge buildings? And they made such an impression on myself and I suspect on lots of people. And yes, it's very sad. When you saw a grain elevator, that meant there was civilization on the flat prairie, and now that's just disappearing, and so are the small towns that grew up around those elevators. So it is very, very sad.
Bye.
There were 2 elevators and 2 annexes and 2 offices that were knocked down here a number of years ago. And the demolition company asked if we had some charitable project, and so I showed them the interpreter center up on the hill, the Ancient Echoes Interpreter Center. They'll show you the house. It's all out of elevator salvage. So we designed a little retreat house. We've had quite a bit of inquiry for groups that want to use it for, small groups, 10, 12 people that want to spend a weekend together, and people just want to rent the facility and do their own planning, or if they want us to do some planning or programming, we'll do that. Let's see, all the wood is from the elevator. There was one bin that had this red fir that we used for the wainscoting here. This fir on the floor was on the floor of the old pool office building. It had a couple layers of plywood over top, and then asbestos tile. We ripped that all off and then put it through the thickness planer, and then put that down. And so it has all the nail holes from where the plywood was nailed down. And this was some of the worst wood from the elevator, the bins, the floor bins, where a lot of moisture, and so you get the rust from the nails. But we decided that actually looks all right. Beautiful grain wood. Grain running over that for 75 years just washes that away. Except where there's a knot or where there's a nail, there it stays. The rest of the grain just washes the wood away. Get in here. Here, each piece is a distinctive piece of that grain washed wood. We made all our own moldings. The floor is all 2x6 fir, glued and air nailed, so it's just a solid 2x6 floor. The baseboards, so that's all from that shiplap from the office. The whole principle was based on the ideas reuse, reduce, recycle, and there are some imperfections and some places where there was a bit of damage, but we decided that that's not a problem. There's 2 bedrooms here. That we did the same with as in the sunroom, and this one here in contrast, we in between the beams we put gyprock. We decided we wanted to have a loft. There was an incredible 1-hour lightning storm. Every direction there was lightning. It was just incredible. We have a bathroom on each floor, and beautiful wood. You have the big steel bin in the ground where you dump the grain, and then there's these 2 legs, and the belt with the buckets runs from the bottom right up to the top, and that box, the inside of that leg was 12 by 12, and so they built that by using 2 2x12s and 2 2x15s fir. These are all 16 feet long. then they were all nailed together and put, and then a lot of them would come out intact, but also when that thing falls, there's quite a bit of splintering because the wood is so dry. And so we kept all those splintered chunks that were splintered away where you could get 4 inches, 39 inches, 4 inches wide to use those. They weren't usable for anything else. We decided that we'd keep our eyes open to find ourselves a hot tub that the people could use, and so we waited around till we found a used one, and again, the building is all out of elevator salvage. We put in this used hot tub here, and all that beautiful fir and pine. And this piece here was full of pitch. It just gives a little some of the artistry, the incredible natural artistry that's in this in the woods. Like this is out of that that clear chunks of clear fir like that. Beautiful, beautiful wood.
It's quilted with running stitches, as many as we could make per inch. There's about 8 or 10 per inch, I think. I bound them because they're more finished and they would hang better, and plus they wear better. But you can quilt it with feather stitch, which I occasionally do, but I do it on the sewing machine these days. Cheated. There's Miller and Goff and Wiese, Banky, Reisdorf, Hubers, Gibbons, Vanno, Campbell, Earl, Hepting, Mayer, Wall, Huber, Smith, Spears, Kreutzer, Vanno, Hildebrandt, Materi, Lutz, Anderson, Ford, Lorenz, Kreutzer, Schmidt, Huber, Seib, Schmidt, Seal, Tomalak, Andrews, Huber, Senft. Joseph, Materi,
Hi, I'm Ann Davis and we're in the dining room today. First thing we do when we set the table is put a tablecloth on, especially if you're having company. It emphasizes the lace, the pattern in the lace if you have a colored single one underneath it. But you see what I mean about bringing the pattern out with the color underneath. I guess the next thing is to put some dishes on the table. We'll start with plates. The bread and butter plates go a little bit up on the left-hand side. We put the knives and the teaspoons on the right-hand side, and if we're just having tea or biscuits or something, that's all we need for cutlery. Your glasses go the right-hand side, just inside your knife up top here. And if you're using water glasses and wine glasses, you'll set your wine glass pretty well centered. These dishes are Royal Albert Crown china, and we've had them since 1967. It's called Centennial Rose, and we've used them every day. China doesn't chip like porcelain does in stoneware. And they go just the edge of your teaspoon. These are large napkins for dinner table, which would be a bigger plate. If it was a dinner plate, your height would be, it would level across with it. Yes, I think that happens. I always liked china, I was very fond of it. That's it for this time.
but it's warming up. Everybody be mad at me if we get another 2 months of winter like this. Eh?